People don't realize that our individuals that are being used by said groups, zealots, conservatives, people with a political agenda to try to bring down the whole caboodle. They're using children as the shield. But what about the children? We don't have a problem with you adults doing what you do, but what about the children? You know, children have been used throughout history for many movements as a shield to create a political arena, a witch hunt of sorts. They feed people certain lines and they use these lines as a way to manipulate your feelings and get you angry. Yes, very angry about certain things. Listen, been there, done that. You know, I have so many t shirts to prove it. I've been all over the place with this because I too have been pulled in. You know, I've been pulled in by the so called bleeding hearts, the creators of the do wrong or right mentality, the don't you want to be on the right side of history, don't you want to do this, that, and the other. We're all like little puppets, our strings are being pulled. But in the end, they're turning us against one another. They're bringing down the house, one brick at a time, festering the anger within our own community. We fight amongst each other. All the letters of the LGBTQRSTUV fighting one another to bring us down, because what better way for the enemy to do so? What better way to pit people against each other and confuse us in the process? Listen, I don't agree with the full medicalization of things. I think Big Pharma has profit in mind. They don't care about you or me. But unfortunately, people like us, we need Big Pharma. We need certain procedures. And although many of you say, but you don't, you have to live in the body that you were given, and you have to be the way that you were born as. You could be different, you could do this. That, now they're saying that, but back in the day, it was like, forbid anybody to, if you're a woman, to walk around with a swag, or if you're a man, walk around with a wrist limp or any of that stuff. You know, you'd be gawked at, pointed finger at, criticized. But now it's okay. Now, because they don't want the other to take place, or they're trying to like pick at every part of the base so they can knock it down. You have to open your eyes here, folks. People are repeating things like robots. They're being dragged, pulled, coerced to believe that there's this evil agenda that wants to trans your children. But these same people are okay with girls under the age of 18 putting fillers, getting butt implants, and putting breast implants and all sorts of different things. That's okay. They don't have a problem with that. Somebody in one of the actual Facebook forum things, or they said, oh, but it's so different from phalloplasty and mastectomy. So it's okay to add on some breasts and add on some butt size and fillers that are toxin in your body. That they're okay with that, but they're not okay with people aligning their soul, creating the masterpiece that we try to create within ourselves so we could feel aligned in ourselves. That's not okay. And there's a limited time where you can't do this. Listen, my grandmother had her first child at 16. She was married and had started a family at 16. Nowadays, people are a little slow into becoming adults. So they want to call teens children. You know, they just want to keep their children for as long as they can. I don't believe that everyone is trans, and I don't believe that transitioning is for everyone. Obviously, we see that people have made mistakes. There's a lot of confusion. I fell for that confusion. A lot of that confusion stems from religious upbringing, from being shamed throughout an entire life. They're even calling it now a gay eugenics. That's what they believe transitioning is, a gay eugenics. Like there's this massive controller that's trying to make sure that no one's gay. We're going to turn everybody trans. These people, I don't know where they get their thought process from, where they invent all these things, but they spew it out as if it's fact. And then they spew it enough times to get other people to spew it. And before you know it, you got people talking out of their you-know-where. When I transitioned back in 2003, it was difficult because nobody knew anything about it. And that's why I advocated to try to bring some education to the topic. What's happening now is an evolution of our species. We're seeing lots and lots of people that are finding their way in their alignment. You may not agree with it, but you don't get to call it a gay eugenics. You don't get to villainize parents that are being supportive of their children because you don't agree with it. You don't get to tell people how they can and can't live their life. They're not your children. So with the children, they don't belong to you. Worry about your own children. Worry about your own problems and let everyone else live their life and take their journey the way they need to. Because no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to stop people wanting to do what they want to do. We all have our life path to follow, and we all have our mistakes to make so we can evolve as spirit beings that we are. Nothing you can do will ever change that. All you're doing is creating lots of noises and hurting people. In your quest of helping, you're actually hurting. So mind your business. Matt Walsh's and the Daily Wire and the Scott Newton and all these people and the Buck Angels and the Blair Whites and all these people that are fighting something that they are themselves, which, makes absolutely no sense. I did it too. In Einstein's 2020, it's like, what am I doing? This will affect you if all this stuff, if they get to do what they want to do, they meaning the Matt Walshes and the conservatives and the religious zealots, they will take us all and put us in an island somewhere and get rid of us. I saw something yesterday, some sort of Texas pastor was calling for the death of gay people. So don't you think that just because they accept you because you're gay, they're not really accepting us because they're trans, they see us all as one big happy LGBTQRSTUV family? What's happening, folks? There's an evolution in our species. There's going to come a time when all those dinosaurs, you know who you are, you're going to die out. And the world is not going to see what you're seeing. Everything's going to be accepting. And this devil under every rock that you try to put there is non-existent. We're here to evolve and grow and shine our lights, to be happy, to be free. There's no wrong or right. It's only thinking that makes it so. So with your prudish ways and your ways of thinking, you're not going to have the world that you want. Because we're going to create heaven here on earth. We are going to be able to live life the way that souls and spirits are used to living. In harmony, in peace, and in love. Unconditional love. You may not agree with things, but you're not the boss, thankfully. All right, guys. Love you. Catch you guys tonight on our show. But remember to always love yourselves too and each other. Bye-bye.